All right, folks. Okay, let me jump on in. So, you know what's crazy with technology is that I checked everything. Previously, I had everything set up to go live.
All right, folks.
Oh, shuck. Hold on. I had everything set to go live. And then I heard that bzz, and I'm like, I wonder what's that, right? So apparently some glitch happened and it caused the audio to go out. I had to restart the computer. So here we are again. So I don't want to prolong this. So let's jump into it. And so I can get the video, the things I want to talk about from earlier on today going. All right. So many people are angry right now. Why? Let me show you. Let me show you why many people are angry right now. Check this out. Donald Trump has decided to rename the famous Kennedy Memorial Center, putting his name on top of John F. Kennedy. Right? So many people are upset. And I'm going to jump into the video, and I'm going to show you the video because they have a petition to get his name off. So let me get that going so I don't prolong this. All right. So here we go.
We begin tonight with a major problem that could cost Donald Trump and the Republicans the midterm elections. At the Kennedy Center, the traditional New Year's Eve concert has been canceled. As you know, the administration unilaterally renamed the Kennedy Center to include Donald Trump's name, a move that lawmakers say was patently illegal. And some musicians have taken the president's actions to heart, refusing to perform at the storied venue. For some, it is a matter of principle over profit. As one musician put it, quote, "Losing my integrity would cost me more than any paycheck." Self-indulgent vanity projects, though, have preoccupied this president in his second term, and the Kennedy Center is merely the latest example of the president's edifice complex. His obsession with the trappings of autocratic grandeur extends to various White House projects, ranging from the mundane, like gilding the Oval Office and remodeling the Lincoln bathroom in marble, to the absolutely outrageous, like paving over the Rose Garden and demolishing the East Wing to make way for a $400 million ballroom. And the president's DIY tendencies haven't been confined to the White House. Trump has festooned multiple government buildings with enormous banners bearing the image of his own face. And in his free time, Trump golfs or attends lavish parties at his Florida beach club Mar-a-Lago. And that tone-deaf behavior is setting off alarm bells. Take a listen.
His obsession with those kinds of issues actually are a political problem for him. I mean, people are sitting around and thinking about how they're going to pay their bills, and he seems obsessed with gold and putting his name on things and remodeling buildings and rebuilding monuments to himself. And I think this is a huge political problem for him. It's a symbol of his distraction. It's the Marie Antoinette thing that he's got going. He's not on the ballot in next November, but Republicans should be really concerned about what they're seeing.
And Republicans are concerned. Some are still upset about the president's unwillingness to negotiate with Democrats during the government shutdown. And as all of this percolates, there is more potentially damaging information from the Epstein files that is coming out regularly.
Yes.
And many Republicans are distancing themselves from the president ahead of the midterms, while others are leaving Congress entirely. Most notably, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Once a stalwart Trump ally, Greene now says she was, quote, naive for believing in the president's promises. Those kinds of schisms seem likely to widen as Trump continues to ignore serious domestic issues and as the midterms draw closer. As The Atlantic puts it, quote, Trump is suddenly looking a lot smaller.
Hello there, this is Steve Lynch from the 8th Congressional District of Massachusetts. And this was originally going to be a holiday message to my constituents, my people today, but then Trump changed the name of the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. And even though we all have a lot of things to worry about today, just as an Irish Catholic from Boston, I just can't let this one go. Just to remind people, especially my younger constituents, my younger friends, a couple of things about John F. Kennedy. You know, JFK was a decorated Navy war veteran. He served in the South Pacific Theater during World War II at a time when our democracy itself hung in the balance. The Kennedys were a Gold Star family. Lieutenant Joseph P. Kennedy, United States Navy, was killed when his plane went down over England in 1944. But JFK, as the commanding officer of the PT-109, a patrol torpedo boat, he received the Purple Heart and the Navy and Marine Corps medals for valor after his vessel was struck by a Japanese destroyer in the Solomon Islands, and he had to risk his own life to rescue his crewmates. I believe he's the only U.S. president to ever have received the Purple Heart in our nation's history. As a candidate for the presidency, JFK had to overcome blatant bigotry because he was a Catholic. But his victory as our youngest president inspired us all with optimism, while his vision actually launched our national mission into space at the time and made us, I think, as Americans, reimagine what was possible. During his presidency, JFK actually stood up for democracy around the globe. And he faced down the Russians with the policy of containment, and he forced them to abandon their strategy to actually place missiles in Cuba. In the meantime, ironically, Jacqueline Kennedy, our First Lady, created the White House Historical Society back in 1961, whose purpose was to restore the White House and its furnishings to its original beauty and its historical integrity in a way that paid respect to all the earlier presidents, regardless of their party. And after JFK was brutally assassinated, President Lyndon Johnson and the United States Congress, where I serve, dedicated the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts as the only dedicated national memorial in Washington, D.C. to acknowledge his service and his sacrifice to our country. So given all of that, let me just speak plainly. Donald Trump's actions to have his name placed above John F. Kennedy's on the Center for the Performing Arts is a case of stolen valor, plain and simple. While Trump and his minions have no limit to the depth to which they will stoop, we as Americans should see this for what it is. It is something that is deeply shameful. This is not right. Trump is trying to steal an honor for which he is not deserving. And in his attempt, he proves his unworthiness. I'm actually embarrassed for him. And what is most regrettable is that Trump and his handpicked board members have enabled him to drag down the memory of someone who sacrificed everything for our country. It is both immoral and illegal. So this week, I reached out to our friends at Democracy Forward, God bless them, and other pro-democracy groups to bring legal action to restore the original legislative intent of Congress. I've also invited my colleagues in the House and Senate to support my resolution to remove Trump's name from the Center for the Performing Arts. And also to call upon those board members who supported this innocuous decision to resign immediately. I'll keep you updated on our progress. Thank you all.
There's still a budget waiting to be balanced here, Congressman, if you ever want to come back. There's been Abigail Spanberger, Mikey Sherrill. There was just a mayor elected in Miami, the first Democrat in 28 years. These are all good signs for the midterms. And I think some of the issues that you mentioned, Melissa, are ones that everybody understands, that he he treats the White House like he owns it. At the very least, he owns it. Or he bought it to renovate it, and he's making excuses about the West Wing. Well, the law says you need to have permission to build, but it didn't say anything about tearing it down. I mean, these excuses to when you go past it, Melissa, it's just shocking to see. And you brought up the Kennedy Center. He said he was, quote, surprised and honored by having the center named after him after he filled the board with, fired everybody, filled the board with his cronies, and then had a vote. And by the way, it took minutes to get those letters up on the Kennedy Center. And so now it's the Trump and Kennedy. It's kind of astonishing. And the Oval Office, of course, looks like he's decorating that like an Atlantic City casino, and then putting his predecessors' pictures on the wall with plaques underneath insulting each of them, except for Ronald Reagan. It's kind of astounding, and I think it does penetrate in a way sometimes that the cost of living index doesn't.
Well, so Governor, the behavior is certainly outrageous, as Margaret has detailed. Are the Republicans going to pay a price for the president's behavior? Are they courting a midterm shellacking like the one the Democrats experienced in 2010?
Yeah, I've been saying for quite a while, not just in the last couple of weeks, and Margaret was saying this as well. I thought the Democrats were going to win the House a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Now, when you take a look at these two ladies who won the governor's races, they were talking about affordability. They were not on fringe issues. The Democrats have a challenge, and that is to stick on things like health care, like the economy. But don't be getting on these fringe issues. They can talk about ICE and the fact that ICE has been too aggressive. I think that resonates with people. But if they start drifting into the fringe issues, they're going to have a problem. For the Republicans, they're sort of stuck with this MAGA thing. And I've been a Republican all of my life, an American first, a Republican second. But I have to tell you, I don't quite know what it's all about. I don't know what's the positive message there. It seems as though it's a message about tearing things down rather than building things up. And that is never a successful way to get elected, to be just so negative and everything. So I think the Democrats are going to win the House, maybe by a significant margin. But
New Year's, I think Trump is realizing that the Kennedy Center is never going to allow him in, at least on the standards that he's been invited before. I mean, they can't even run events now. Like, events are being canceled. I don't know if literally every event has been canceled, but you see it, right? The thing was, people were willing, begrudgingly, to tolerate Trump's influence on the center when he got elected again. The way it works is that ultimately it's overseen by congressional law, but the president has a lot of day-to-day authority in terms of who he puts on the board and decisions about shows and blah, 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 blah. It is what it is. People were willing to separate Trump from the center because they still wanted to play at a prestigious arena, and they still, wanted to honor the Kennedy family, even if they didn't want to honor Donald Trump. Or they wanted to honor the office of the president, even if not the guy whose bum is currently in the seat. Right? But when Donald Trump did what he did, he made separation impossible from both a literal and optical perspective, right? By putting his name on the building, a building that was named specifically for a president who was killed serving his country, killed in action. Throwing your name up there, where one, it's a memorial place. Usually you have to be dead for one of those, even if we did like Trump, right? Right? Because it's going to be like the people under Jim Crow. All those people, because remember, most white people didn't support Martin Luther King's vision when it started, especially in the South, but even in other places. And yet, 30, 40 years later, almost everyone said, well, I always supported Martin Luther King. Right? Much the same. All the people who are MAGA now will want to scrub his legacy off the buildings and off their own brains.
This robotic puppy is...
All right, guys, as you can see that Trump is doing some things that are really making some people mad, right? Really making some people mad. I would like to hear what you have to say. So I'm going to throw the number up and you can call in and give me your feedback and let me know exactly how you feel about it. While getting ready for that, I'm going to show you what they were talking about in terms of him putting up plaques in the White House and putting insults onto these plaques. Let me see if I can bring this up. All right, let me see if I can bring this over. Give me just a second here. Let me come over because I want you guys to see it. All right. So let me bring this over. Mute this. And let me close this window and then bring this over. Oh, no. All right, so here. So let me share this. Go to full mask. This is what they're talking about. So Donald Trump is actively, as you can see, he has a string of presidents out. And every president, he has placed some kind of, allegedly, I don't know, I'm not there, I have not read it, but insults under every single one of their names going down the hallway, right? Many people have said Donald Trump is petty, and acknowledgedly so. It's just a thing in the media. People have said over the years he does not let anything go, but he has made sure that everybody except for the Bush, except for Bush, right? He did not put up any insults about Bush, right? So I would like to hear from you guys, right? Because I'm going to talk about what's coming up next. I'm going to talk about what happened over in the Swiss Alps, the ski resort, where many people have died, right? So let me bring that number up, right? It's 1-844 put me on, right? It's 1-844 put me on, or 1-844-788-6366, right? You can call in at any time and tell me and give me your feedback, how you think Trump is doing. And do you think that some of the things that he's doing, like renaming the Kennedy Center, the Memorial Kennedy Center, where that was built specifically to pay homage to the service that was given, provided, and died in the process, right? In the process of what all in a sense, it's kind of like a memorial to the Kennedy family, because the Kennedy family, they were dying one after the other. And I remember, right, plane crashes, ski accidents, right? I'm like, are they trying to get rid of the entire Kennedy family? JFK, the assassination, right? But here it is that Donald Trump has placed his name above JFK, right? And that's kind of like taking away the valor of JFK. And I can understand what people are saying. But Donald Trump is the president, and he feels that he's the best president since America. So he's making sure that he's placing his name on everything, so he's remembered in history, right? Let's see how good the petition is going to be to remove his name, which I don't think is going to be that difficult to do, because they didn't shift down the JFK Memorial Center for Performing Arts. They just put Donald Trump's name above. right? So call in at 1-844-788-6366 and let me know what you think, right? In the meantime, let's jump over to what happened in the Swiss at the Swiss ski resort. All right, let me do that. So according to the news, all right, I jumped over now to what happened. This is just the first day of the new year, and a lot has happened. These are just two stories that came out today. Donald Trump, they're talking about Donald Trump and also what happened over in Switzerland. So according to the news report, about 40 people died and 115 others sustained injuries in a horrific fire during a New Year's party celebration in the Swiss ski resort. The inferno happened at a bar called Le Constellation. Sorry guys, don't crucify me for this. Let me try again. Le Constellation in the resort town of Crans, Montana. According to the New York Post, witnesses said the fire was started by a sparkler attached to a champagne bottle. Ooh, I know how those look like, right? So I could see how it would happen because champagne have alcohol inside of it. So let me read that again. According to the New York Post, witnesses said the fire was started by a sparkler attached to a champagne bottle. Officials said it will take time to determine the exact cause of the blaze. CNN noted, the Crans, Montana resort is popular with international tourists, known for its alpine vistas, skiing, and golf venue. All right, so here's some footage of what happened. Right? Let me just jump into it at the Crans, Montana in Switzerland. Let me just play this.
Oh la dinguerie! Oh gros, bouge.
So let me minimize that, and I'm going to continue and then go to the next video. Give me just a second. Let me look at these. So Speak It Poetry said, I'm reading the chat. I'm not surprised. People should not be surprised by this action. This is what the people wanted. The chaos, the disrespect, the foolishness, and and effery. Oh well, right? So people are leaving their opinions, right? So anybody else, put your comments in the chat, and I will read them live. However, many people, but of course we have the far right and the far left, right? We have the far right and the far left, and people on the far right, you have some that call themselves the fringe right, are upset that this is happening. But let me continue with the news report from Switzerland. The deadly fire was reportedly started accidentally by a woman who was being carried on another's shoulder, holding a champagne bottle with a sparkler attached. The initial blaze in the bar triggered a so-called flashover when all combustible material in the room ignites at once. Yikes! Triggering multiple explosion, Swiss authorities said. A promotional video from La Constellation last year showed female nightclub workers carrying bottles of champagne with sparklers attached through the packed, low-ceiling nightclub. Oh, so the ceiling was, I can imagine that. I can imagine the ceiling being low and the sparkler is going, the alcohol inside of the champagne or whatever else they're carrying right below the fire. That was a, I can imagine that. That was an accident waiting to happen. All right, let's continue. Another witness said the fire triggered a stampede as panicked bargoers surged up a narrow staircase from the venue, according to French outlets 24 Heures. It was firework candle inside the champagne bottle that caused the explosion. Oh, I kind of like figured that. The entire ceiling of the bar caught fire. Witness Victoria told French broadcaster BFM TV. The fire spread quickly through the bar, which holds up to 300 people, and within seconds it was impossible to breathe. All the windows were black and opaque with smoke, Victoria said. Some people smashed windows to let air in. Terrifying video shared by Tyrone King, a visitor from New York, shows flames ripping through the bar while screams are heard in the background. All right, so here's another video. Let me just jump into this and play this video. It's 4 seconds long, so it's not that long. All right. And let me see if I find another video. Okay, this is a news report giving more details in regards to what happened in Switzerland and the bar fire. So let me expand this.
Continuing to come through.
Let me bring this back.
Well, things continuing to come through, bits of information from Crans-Montana, obviously in South Switzerland, near France and Italy, and all three authorities working together on this. Swiss authorities now over 12 hours have been working at the scene there after the first signs of disaster struck there at 1:30 this morning, when residents there in Crans-Montana saw smoke billowing out of the Constellation bar there, a bar that's been described as locals as a real popular place amongst young people in Crans-Montana and an institution of that resort there. This, of course, is a resort incredibly popular amongst tourists, both from Italy and France and other places as well. And this, what we now believe, is a fire that started on the lower ground floor of Le Constellation bar there. This is a bar that it has capacity for about 300 people, and eyewitnesses described that there was about 200 people in the lower ground floor. And two eyewitnesses, two French women who have been speaking this morning, speaking to the French TV channel BFM, managed to escape from the bar. They were there last night, and they've described what they saw. Now, Swiss authorities haven't confirmed the source of the fire yet, but according to these two French women, they say the fire originated from birthday candles placed on champagne bottles, these particular kinds of candles that are sparkly and little sparks fly off them. And now they say that these champagne bottles were being carried by a waitress who held the bottles too near the ceiling, and that's when the ceiling set on fire and this fire started in the basement. These two French women, Emma and Albane, said they said in a few dozen seconds the whole ceiling was on fire. Everything was made of wood, they said. They said quickly panic set in. People were screaming and running. The exit door was quite small compared to the number of people people present, someone broke a window so that people could get out. So that's Emma and Albane there, two French women at Le Constellation Bar last night. And we now know that Swiss authorities have said more than 100 people injured, many of them seriously injured with severe burns. The local hospital is full up, and many people with these severe burns have been airlifted elsewhere in the country to get specialist treatment, because obviously when you have severe burns you need a particular treatment that the local hospital simply can't offer, and so they've been airlifted there. And the entire population of Switzerland been urged not to take any risks in the coming few days, particularly on the ski slopes.
Let me see if there's any more content, any more information. That was a brief from what's happened. I would suspect that there are more, right? But let me continue reading. Here's what the Associated Press has to say. So, Beatrice Pillard, I hope I pronounced that name, Pillaud, Villiers Canton Attorney General, said it was too early to determine the cause of the fire. Experts have not yet been able to go inside the wreckage. At no moment is there any question of any kind of the attack, Pillaud said. She later said the number of people who were in the bar is currently totally unknown, adding that its maximum capacity will be part of the investigation. For the time being, we don't have any suspect, she added. When asked if anyone had been arrested over the fire, an investigation has been opened not against anyone, but to illuminate the circumstances of the dramatic fire. Giller said the priority until further notice would be identifying the victims, and added that this work will have to take several days. I would expect so. It probably take maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks, to really ascertain what actually happened. I think it's far more complex than just the sparkler being inside or around the champagne. I think there's something else that happened. Maybe there's some additional, maybe alcohol that, of course, alcohol is really flammable. So maybe that has something to do with it. That's my speculation, right? Allegedly. All right, let's continue. Alex Cleaver, a 16-year-old from Paris who survived the blaze, described the total chaos inside the bar. One of his friends died and 2 or 3 were missing, he told the Associated Press. He said he hadn't seen the fire started, but did see waitresses arrive with champagne bottle with sparklers, he said. Cleaver said he felt like he was suffocating and initially hid behind a table, then ran upstairs and tried to use a table to break the plexiglass window. It fell out of the casing, allow him to escape. That was good thinking. That was good thinking. He goes on to say he lost his jacket, shoes, phone, and bank card while fleeing, but I'm still alive, and it's just stuff. 100% I agree with him. He's alive and it's just stuff. He could replace that. You can't replace your life once you're gone, right? And I can tell you, I've had friends that love dearly, and boom, something happened, they pass on, and it made me distraught and affected me for a very long time, right? So let me see if there's any. All right, let me look for any other. Let me see if there's any other information on it I would like to see. But like I say, guys, go ahead, leave your comments in the chat. Call at 1-844-788-6366 if you'd like to put your thoughts in. Thank you, man. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. So just to understand that we, let me bring myself to full mass, right? We love to celebrate as people. This is one thing about us. We will find any reason to celebrate, right? And it doesn't matter. We will find pleasure out of the slightest thing. But one of the things that we always seem to do, we add dangerous or potentially dangerous substance in the mix of us having fun. Listen, alcohol is highly flammable. Now, to have any ounce of alcohol close to anything that can spark a fire it's an explosion waiting to happen. But people do it all the time. We'll find an excuse to consume intoxicants, right? Substance that we're not supposed that will harm us. We just love to have fun. And this tragedy, I honestly think, wholeheartedly, could have been avoided. Only if they took precaution. But maybe they did not take precautions because they've done this before and everything was fine. Right? So while saying that, I'm going to see if there's any more comments, any more information. Just give me a second. All right, just give me a second. Let me look at some chats here. Like I say, guys, do me a favor, call in and give me your feedback, right? You're not going to be on camera, just be your voice, and tell me what you think in terms of what Donald Trump has done with changing the name to the Kennedy Center and adding his name, right? So all right, I pin the number in the chat. All right, let me go to the other platforms and also pin the number in the chat. All right, let me add it here. 788-6366. Call in. Give me a second, guys. Share your opinion. I would like to hear what you have to say. The phone is live. You can call in. All right. Let me pin this. And let me go over to this channel didn't take while we were setting everything up. But I'll do it. So let me add it here too. We're streaming on several platforms. We stream on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Twitch, and Party. Right? You can find us there at Think and Say at YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Twitch, Party. Right? Right now, during the reset up, because I explained earlier that everything was set up, good to go, ready to go, and then a glitch happened, and I had to restart everything. So Rumble, it's not streaming on Rumble right now. I don't know why it didn't reset for Rumble, but glitches happen, things happen. I was trying to bring that in, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is, right? The show must go on. So call in, set 844-788-6366. Give me your feedback. Let's have a conversation. All right. If for some reason you call and it doesn't go through, just put a message and I'll fix that problem. There shouldn't be an issue. Right. Let me see. Okay. You know what? I'm going to call someone and what I'm going to talk about. I had, as you can see on the thumbnail, it says New Year's resolution. So let me call someone, all right? If you don't feel comfortable talking about any New Year's resolution, any plans that you have that you possibly want to talk about, it could be, I have a couple of questions like, what's your New Year's resolution? Do you have any regrets from 2025? If you could change anything, what would it have been? And if you have any advice for 2026 that you want to give anyone that you want to leave, hey, feel free. Let's talk about it. Call in 844-788-6366. I'm going to call someone right now and see if she picks up, right? Give me a second. All right, so let me go. Two. Let me pull this up. All right, bear with me, guys. Bear with me. All right, so what? Let me see. Give me a second, guys. Okay. All right. Let's see if she.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good.
So earlier I'd give you a note saying that I'll be possibly calling you. Like I said, if anyone want to call in, the number is 844-788-6366. So we were talking about Donald Trump. We talked about what happened over in Switzerland with the many people who passed and 115 people injured. And I think it might be more in terms of the amount of people. I think that's why in the thumbnail it said 40 plus died. It said 40, but you know how things work when people are injured, right? Now, in terms of what Donald Trump has done, in terms of putting his name above JFK's name on the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center. What's your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I'm not surprised because he wants to leave a he wants his name on everything, Nothing that he contributed to. He didn't have anything, no contribution to actually building that center or so I don't see why what he want to put his name on there, but I'm not surprised. Anything that Donald Trump do in the next 3 years is not going to be no surprise to me. Because he's a dictator, so that's what dictators do. They want to dictate where their name is and how the country and this and this. I'm not surprised. So, I mean, I don't know why people are surprised on what he do and all the kinds of let's say, fuckery he does. This is Donald Trump. He loves the chaos. He loves when people talk about him. He loves the attention. You know, he's like a toddler.
Well,
I'm not surprised.
well, on let's play. I like to say negative advocate, not people say devil's advocate. I like to say negative advocate. But let's look at it this way. You may say, or many people may say, yeah, he's a narcissist and that he wants his name on everything, which is true. But he's built his name for decades. His name is already on resorts, hotels, golf courses, and many other merchandise that's sold. And people are used to seeing his name. And
yeah, but that's on hotels and stuff that he had contribution to, stuff that he put money into. His company does. He didn't build that, okay? So for him to put his name on something that he didn't contribute to or even put money towards to, like, why?
Not all hotels where Trump name is on, he add money to. They license his name because his name brings money. What you have to say about that?
Those Highline places that he built, the Trump Towers, that was his company that built those in Miami Beach. His company, his name, and his company, his real estate investment companies it was the reason why South Beach became very expensive. That's why South Beach, the price of real estate went up because of Trump. His investment companies, his building companies, that money put money into South Beach and Miami, but at the same time, it raised up the cost of living and people mortgages and people condo and associations and all that stuff. He was the top dog and because of that.
Do you think he's the sole person that caused that to happen?
Who?
Do you think Trump is the sole person that caused real estate price to change? Because there are many other factors. Trump is not the only developer. There are many other.
Sweetheart. He is the only developer. Back in the early 90s, well, the late 80s and the 90s, he was the main factor. As a matter of fact, I remember going to one of those town hall meetings with my mom, and his building companies and his investment companies was there, and it was buying up all those investment properties and stuff like that around Miami. And it was talking about the cost of living and stuff, and half of those people was in there trying to fight to get their land not sold. And because they didn't have the money, his companies bought up those that. So yeah.
Okay.
And if you wasn't on top of what was going on during that time, yeah, he was. And that's why a lot of people was losing their property. He was buying up the property from on the like poor people who couldn't keep up with the taxes because he was the reason why the taxes went up. So yeah.
So what I'm hearing is as if it was a strategic plan to buy the property, raise the rents, raise the mortgage on homes as a strategic plan to gentrify a community. You're saying that Trump is the only one, the sole person that
he was the one who started it.
I have to give some pushback on that. I
So try it. Listen, do your research, honey, because let me tell you, I was on top of that during that time. I
I
was on
I
top of
I
that.
I'm not going to say that he didn't have anything to do with it.
He was the one who started it. He was the main purpose of that. Okay? You can ask anybody who's older person, any old people who had owned property during that time, during in those rural areas, they will tell you they got bought out from his company.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
So yeah, you can do your research. It'll tell you right there.
My research on that.
Yes, please.
So let me ask this question, because we are at the beginning, the first day of the new year, and
Mm-hmm.
there's far more things that's happened so far, right? There was something else I was looking at, but before I ask you the question, let me look things in the news. What else is in the news? What's going on? What else is going on? Give me a second.
But me personally, I don't feel like his name was supposed to be on anything that he didn't contribute to.
And that's why a lot of people have a gripe to what he did when he placed his name on the JFK Memorial Center
His
for the.
name, he don't deserve a place there. His name don't deserve a place. That man fought for rights and contribute money and stuff like that to that center. How dare him? How dare Trump put his name on there? The audacity of him. Try please.
Mm. Let me give me a second. Give me a second. Let me
I
one
because it's
moment.
4117. Yeah.
Give me a second. Let me give me a second.
Hold on.
Yeah. Give me just a second here. Damn it, man. Let me see. Here monitoring, but I can't not see everything. So let me 1 2. Let me give me a second. Give me a second. All right, let me see. All right, let me see if my audio came back. Hold on. I don't. Let me see if my audio came back. 1 2 1 2. I see it. The audio. I see the audio. Let me see. Give me a second. 1 2 1 2. Okay. My audio came back. Folks, apparently my audio went out. One of the viewers saw that the audio went out. I called him and realized that the audio went out. A glitch took place. I don't know how long the audio went out for. Hold on. I'm gonna call you on the studio phone. Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Huh? Reset what I said live. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Give me a second. Let me call you. Let me call you on the studio phone. All right. So guys, when we're streaming, at times we don't know when our audio goes out. And if you're watching our stream, whether it's me or some other content creator, send a message, call if you know the number. It would really help, right? So let me four.
Your call cannot be complete.
All right, let me try this again. 7, 8, 6, 1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah,
About how long? About how long you think the audio went out for?
about 10 minutes now.
Are you serious?
Well, it's been 10 minutes since it went out, yeah.
So I've been talking for 10 minutes.
I don't know if you're still talking. It paused on my end.
Okay. Let me go back. Give me a second. Would really help. And if you're watching,
Ooh.
let me go back. Give me a second. Damn it, man.
Okay.
Give me just a second. No, the audio was.
It went out on
I went out
mine.
on your end. It didn't go out over here.
That's weird.
Yeah,
I
it's
went back.
you.
Oh, no, you're just out of sync.
No, the audio.
You just said something else?
It didn't appear that it looked like I went out of sync because it didn't appear that I went out of sync because I was monitored on my phone.
Huh.
I don't know. It happens. It happens.
Well, if we're
Let me
still
see.
live,
Let me see if anyone else from any of their left any messages or anything like that. Okay. No one left a message. No one left a message saying that it went out of sync. I don't see any. No. All right. Well, listen. Let's continue. So, you were saying something to me when I called you about what was said about if Trump is the one that. Let me look that up.
yeah.
Did Trump you know what, let me call her and find out what year that was. Maybe that would help. Give me a second.
Yeah, if anything, she's probably talking about the 70s.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's when they developed HUD, HEMA.
Quick question. What year, when you're saying that Trump is the one that caused the real estate market to go up, what year was that so I can look it up and pull it up? In where? In Florida? Who's that? Who's that? Oh, he looked it up. Okay, all right. Let me. You know what? Kyan said he had a discussion with them in history class about that. How much information does he have? I might bring him in on the stream. Okay. 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 All right. Let me. Okay. Okay. Let me pull this up and read it. Ray, hold a second. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll call you back. Okay. Not you, Ray. Shay, I'll call you back. All right. All right. So let me go forward here. All right. So let me see what this is saying. All right. Copy this and let me do this. Open a new window so I could read this. Okay. Pull the. All right. I'm just gonna bring this on stream. All right. So here is an article. I'm gonna move myself from here. I'm just gonna bring this. So Ray, I'm gonna read the article. You have some noise going on in your background. You might mute in your phone for a second.
Sure.
Okay, thanks. All right. So according to what was said based on the last caller, she said that Donald Trump is the reason why real estate went up in Miami, Miami Beach, and other parts of Miami. I'm not sure. So here's what we're doing. We're looking it up, right? It says, did Donald Trump cause the real estate cost in Florida to go up in 1992? The result came back, no, Donald Trump did not cause a major real estate cost increase in Florida in 1992. Rather, Florida's housing market in the early 90s saw modest price gains after early booms, with some of Trump's own high-profile projects facing struggles. Though overall volume remains significant, suggesting a market in gradual recovery, not dramatic inflation tied to him. Key points. Slow recovery in 93. Sun Sentinel article noted that average prices in South Florida had barely risen between 1989 and 1992, indicating stability, not a sharp increase. Trump's difficulties. In 1990, Trump's own developments like the Trump Plaza in West Palm Beach were struggling with many unsold units, suggesting his ventures weren't driving market-wide prices hikes at that time. Give me a second. Let me check something real quickly. Okay. It goes on to say, broader market dynamics. The early 1990s in Florida were characterized by a huge dollar volume in real estate transaction, but not explosive price growth, pointing to a market finding its footing after early periods of the boom and bust. In summary, in 1992 was a period of slow, steady real estate activity in Florida, with no significant price surge attributed to Donald Trump. His projects were actually facing challenges. So, to that point, what the last caller had to say, maybe there was something else that was happening. That's why I kind of gave some kind of pushback to if Donald Trump is the one that really caused the real estate market to really increase, and then people, other developers come and buy property and regentrify Miami Beach and other areas over time. Okay?
Yeah, that was pure misinformation for real.
Okay. So that's why we have to debunk certain information, and I don't see where, because we all remember what happened in 1992, how the market not 92, 89, how the market crashed. And
I wasn't born yet.
Oh, you wasn't born in 1989 yet?
No, sir. 94.
Oh man. So you have no clue on what happened in 1989. If you had the clue of what happened in 1989, wow. Let me tell you, so many people off themselves. I'm going to tell you a story. This is crazy. I was working for a real estate company, and when the market crashed, the owner of the real estate development company, I'm not going to name it the company, he's a multi-millionaire. However, his brother's wife took their life savings and invested in real estate, and the market crashed. And when the market crashed, they went into a downward spiral, and they decided to go on a high rise downtown Miami. You know the Bank of America building in downtown Miami?
Yeah, I know a few of them.
Okay, the glass one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I think, I could be wrong, but based on my memory, I think that's what the CEO of the company I was working for said, that they went up on the roof and held a hand together, tight gripped, right? They held their hands together, tight grip, and jumped off, holding on to each other. And when they hit the ground, they were in pieces, but they were still holding hands. And it broke him, the owner, the CEO of the company, it broke him. He was so distraught. Of course, that's his brother. He was like, why didn't they come to me? It doesn't matter how much money they were in debt. I would have bailed them out. So they committed, I'm going to create a word, off the side. You know what I mean, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they commit, right, they commit off the side, and he had the money to give them, if it was $2-3 million, he would have just bailed them out with no sweat. And out of fear, embarrassment, they off themselves, leaving their children with no parents. Right? So during the 1989, 1990, many people were going in front of the train, driving on the train tracks, and it was like every other week was somebody jumping off a building, somebody you blowing their top off, jumping in front of a train, driving on the train. It was like During the 1989 that housing crisis, a lot of people offed themselves. And if you were born at that time, you would understand what I'm talking about. It
Sound
was,
like housing was cheap after that, and then that led into the 2008 housing crisis.
listen, the 2008 housing crisis was worse. But the 1989, I tell you 1989, how many, let me look it up. How many people committed Okay, so let me 1989. All right, so let me bring this over. Give me a second. Copy. Create. All right, so okay, here's what it's saying. It says, I wrote how many people committed off the side in 1989, right? It said, it's not possible to provide a specific number of off the sides in 1989 directly attributed to a housing crisis because such statistics were generally not tracked or reported in that specific way or time. Research on link between housing crisis and off the sides primarily focused greatly on recession in 2007 to 2010, where data collection and analysis were not robust and clear association were found between rising foreclosures and increased off the side rate, particularly among middle-aged adults. Key context from 1989. No major housing crisis in 1989 was no major U.S. housing crisis in 1989 was not a year associated with widespread national housing crisis like the one in late 2000. The economics studies indicate that the overall U.S. age-adjusted suicide off the side rate actually fell significantly around that period after peaking in 1986. All right, I kind of like leave it like right there. So we have a housing crisis. The housing crisis that, I let me correct something. I was working for the guy in the company in the 2000. The 1989 was another period, but there were people that were committing off the side during that time. I do remember in 1989. That was the year I was graduating from school. I'm aging myself, right? So let me correct that. So I don't want to spread any misinformation or disinformation, so I made that correction. But I do remember a lot of people were committing off the side right around 1989 because of investments in real estate. So the more severe one was what happened in the 2000. Are you there?
Yeah, I am. Just
Yeah.
making a hell of a lot of noise. I hear you though.
I'm making a lot of noise?
No, not you. My background.
Oh, okay, your background. Okay. All right. So, do you have any comments about what Donald Trump has done with the Kennedy Memorial Center?
Well, I think that he's really trying to make a name for himself. That's what I believe. I haven't read about the article.
Mm-hmm.
I must have missed when you read it too. But I'm sure he has his reasons to put his name on there. I know the mainstream media try to paint him out to be some egomaniac, but it's like that's every single president, which is why their salaries are so high, which is why they pass the legislations they pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not like he's exclusive. Like every single president was some kind of humble saint, because they weren't. You know.
That's true.
So yeah, it's not anything of that manner. It's just, you know, I'm sure he has his reasons to do that.
What reason you think he would have to put his name on the Kennedy Memorial Center of the Arts?
Like I said, I haven't gotten a chance to read the article, but I'm going to Google it.
All right, let me go back. I closed that article out, but let me go back and pull it up.
I mean, what did JF Kennedy do to put his name above the Space Center?
Well, he didn't do anything, but here's what happened.
He wasn't president though.
He was. Here's what happened. He fought in a war. It was because let me pull that up. How did the JFK Center become a museum? All right. Let me pull this up. All right. Let me bring this over here. Give me a second. Bear with me, guys. All right. So the information here that I have, let me expand this to make sure it's a little bit, see if I can get a little bit bigger. Okay, I think that's good. All right. I wrote, how did the JFK Center become a museum? And the result that came is the Kennedy Center is not a museum in the traditional sense, but a performing arts venue that became a living memorial to President JFK after his assassination. Evolving from President Eisenhower's original National Culture Center concept, its function as a hybrid public-private entity with its programming and upkeep managed to a mix of federal funding, private donation, and ticket sales, not a museum's typical collection and exhibition mode. From culture, and it goes on to say, next paragraph, from Culture Center to Kennedy Memorial, Eisenhower's vision, 1955 to 19 58, President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Okay, I think I'm out of sync. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, I'm out of sync. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. Give me a second. Logic. Okay. I'm going to fix this. All right. I think I should be fine now. Let me double check. Give me a second, guys. Making sure that I'm still in sync. Make sure that I'm in sync. All right. Just checking. All right. I'm in sync again, guys. So I'm going to start reading the article over. Right. All right. So I wrote in, how did the JFK Center became a museum? Right. And the result that came, and this is a reread because I went out of sync, so I had to correct that. The Kennedy Center is not a museum in the traditional sense, but a performing arts venue that became a living memorial to President John F. Kennedy after his assassination. Yeah. So let me go on to continue reading. Evolving from President Eisenhower's original National Culture Center concept, its function as a hybrid public-private entity with its programming and upkeep managed through a mix of federal funding, private donation, and ticket sales, not a museum's typical collection and exhibition model. It goes on to say in the next paragraph, from cultural center to Kennedy Memorial. Eisenhower's vision, 1955 to 1958, President Dwight D. Eisenhower first proposed a national cultural center for the arts, signing legislation in 1958 to establish it. Paragraph 2. Kennedy's influence, early 1960s, President John F. Kennedy's First Lady, Jacqueline Kennedy, championed the project, significantly boosting fundraising and cultural focus, with Jackie becoming honorary chairman in 1962. Paragraph 3. Tragedy and renaming, 1963 to 1964. After JFK's assassination in 1963, Congress renamed the planned center the JFK Center for the Performing Arts, transitioning it into a living memorial to the late president. Note, a museum but honors a president. Not a museum, but honors a president. It goes on to say, focused on performance, its core mission as defined by legislation is to present music, dance, opera, and drama, not to house traditional artifacts like a museum. Public-private hybrid. The center operates with federal support for infrastructure managed by the NPS, but relies on private funding and ticket revenue for programming unlike a government-run museum. Living memorial. Next paragraph. It serves as a living memorial through its vibrant artistic life, a different concept from from the static exhibit of a museum. Next paragraph. Confusion with JFK Library and Museum. The confusion often arise because there's a separate John F. K. Presidential Library and Museum in Boston dedicated to JFK's life legacy, which is a museum and library. The Kennedy Center in D.C. focuses on the performing arts. So it's not the traditional museum where you go and you see paintings or artifacts, statues, or things of the sort. Right? So obviously, he wants to put his name on everything, and people are upset. All right? Ray, are you there? Yeah. So I know you say you didn't. I don't want to hijack you, but I know you say you didn't really. Huh? All right. So in the original, in the thumbnail, and when I touched bases with you earlier, I talked about New Year's resolution, right? And I know you're not big on, neither am I, big on certain of these practices. However, we do set goals that we want to accomplish. So I have 4 questions. First question, what's your New Year's resolution for 2026? You're turning 32 this month. On what day are you going to be 32? On the 18th, 32. So everybody out there, Ray is going to turn 32 on the 18th of January. Huh? Sorry, he's going to turn 32 on the 18th of January. I said that backwards, eh? All right. Do you have any regrets from 2025? Next question. You don't regret anything. Okay. If you could have changed anything, what would you have changed? Yeah. Okay. What thoughts do you have or advice do you have for anyone out there that's listening? Huh? Yes. I actually 100% agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, let me I have to give you a hand clap for that one. Yeah. So, let me call the person I was on the phone with earlier and ask her these questions, because I called you when you sent the message when we spoke, and you said I was out of sync. But let me call and hear what she has to say. Let me call her back. All right. Go ahead. Okay, cool. Sounds good, man. Thank you. All right. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh no, that's not it. Sorry, wrong. Here it is. Hmm. Okay. I think that's it. Hope she picks up. Okay, give me a second. Let me try to get her on the other phone to see if she picks up. Oh, I was calling to get your resolution for the new year. It's gonna give me a second. Give me a second. Let me connect you, and it's gonna be brief, less than 2 minutes. Yeah, give me a second. I'll just connect you to this phone. Are you there? All right. Okay. I apologize. I had to put you on hold because the other viewer had to clear up the stream. He said that it seems like the audio went out, but it appeared that it was on his end. And then I went out, and then the audio went out of sync. So I had to fix all of that. So I did look up what you said, right? And it's not accurate. Oh, hold on, 1 second, 1 second. Let me check something here. Uh, sure that you're coming through. Go ahead, talk. Hold 1 second, 1 second. 1 second. It appears that my audio went out again. I don't know what's going on here. Give me a second. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, like I said before, I think you need to do your research on the the real estate crisis in South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And once you do your research, then you will learn the truth about all these investors and money that he put towards and how he messed up the real estate market. And he got blamed for it completely. Trust me, he got blamed for it.
Really?
Yeah, he did. Because people knew what he was doing. Um, I gotta open it.
Okay, 1 second here. This is crazy. My audio went out.
Don't forget this stuff.
Give me a
And
second.
get the stuff out.
Let me see something here.
once you do your research, you'll learn the truth of once you do
Everything
your
that
research,
happened.
you'll learn
Uh-huh.
the truth of once you do
Everything
your
that
research,
happened.
you'll learn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Let me just double check here, making sure. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I have to do more research to
Yes.
to
And then you
find.
can come back and do a whole new session about that.
Yeah, I would agree, right? But I
And
will definitely do research on that, and maybe if you have any information, you could any research you could patch it over, and then we can.
of course, I can send it to you.
Okay, so let me ask you this
I can
question.
send it to you.
Okay, all right. So it's the first day of the year, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And people have New Year's resolutions, and they have regrets from the year before, right? And then the thumbnail says New Year's resolution, first day of the year 2026. And we see what happened. We talked about what happened with Donald Trump putting his name on the Kennedy Center, right? And we talked about the fire, the explosion that happened over in Switzerland, and how many people passed. But in terms of resolutions, right? If what's your New Year's resolution?
Oh, that's a nice question. So that's absolutely a great question to ask. Mine would be to focus more on my business,
Mm-hmm.
focus more on myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually want to like clean up my credit, and I wanted to invest
Okay.
into, as we speak, like in real estate.
Okay.
So I want to buy a house. So that's going to be my goal for this year
Mm-hmm.
is to buy a house.
Oh.
And if it's not a house, buy a property.
Okay. I could see that. I could see that. All right. So next question. Do you have any regrets from 2025? Are you there?
My only
Okay.
regret
Mm-hmm.
for 2025 is not walking away from a relationship, a long-term relationship, sooner than later.
Okay.
So that's my only regret.
Okay. Okay. All right. And if you could have changed anything, what would it have been?
If I can change
If you
anything,
could have changed anything for 2020 that happened 2025, what would you have changed?
oh, let me see. If I could have changed anything, I think I would have um stepped out more on faith and listened to my intuition. And listen to my intuition.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. And if you have, do you have any advice for the folks that are listening?
So my only advice is um, leap out in faith. And don't make fear stop you from doing things that you want to do. And you have to believe and stay stay fruitful and stay faithful and pray more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, That would be my advice. And yeah, that would be my advice. That's the only advice I can give.
Okay. Stay fruitful. And repeat that again. Repeat that
I'm sorry,
again.
what?
Repeat it again.
You're breaking up. I
Repeat
can't
that
hear
again.
you.
I am breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up. It's like a feedback or something like that.
I'll give me a second. Let me check. Give me a second. Let me check. If there's a feedback. Give me a second. Let me check. See if I see. I want to make sure I. Oh, shucks. Think say. All right. Let me see if I'm hearing a feedback on my end. Okay. I think maybe because I checked to see if the audio was coming through, and it probably gave you feedback because I had to close something out. So re-elaborate on the last one. If you have any advice for 2026, what would it be?
What, the question you just asked me?
Yeah, I want you to re-elaborate on that.
Okay, so my only advice for people this year would be um walk in faith, stay
Walk in
fruitful,
faith.
and don't let fear stop you from doing and stepping out. So anything that you want to do this year, just go ahead and get it done.
Okay.
Don't procrastinate. Listen to your intuition, women. We need to listen to our intuition. When our intuition tell us to do something and step, and we need to listen to our intuition. That was like the greatest gift that God blessed us with.
Okay.
Next to giving birth to children.
Okay.
So we just need to listen to our intuition, step out in faith, and walk in your favor. Walk in your favor. Don't procrastinate on anything. Whatever you want to get done, just go ahead and do it. That would be my advice to the women. My advice to men is be patient. Grow and heal.
Okay.
That would be my advice.
All right. Okay, that's good. That's good. I appreciate you for taking the call. All right. Let me see if I can get one more person, and if that person, one, maybe two more, and hear what they have to say.
All righty. Well, thank you for calling.
You're welcome. I appreciate you for
Okay.
answering the phone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So let me see. Let me see if I get. Give me a second, guys. Let me. Okay. No answer. Okay. All right. Let me call another person. Hello. Can you talk? All right. Let me put you on the stream. Are you there?
Here.
Okay. Let me make sure that the volume is turned up. And I can hear you loud and clear. Make sure everybody can hear you loud and clear.
Hello.
Yes. Let me make sure that everybody can hear you. You sound kind of low. Go ahead. All right, cool. You're coming through.
Hello.
Yeah, so I've been doing the stream now for a while. We talked about what happened with Donald Trump putting his name on the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. We talk about what happened at the ski
Are you
resort.
talking to me or are you talking?
I'm just telling you what we talked about. And earlier we had a conversation, and I told you I'd give you a call to see how.
Yeah, but not about the Donald Trump thing.
No,
We're
no, no,
talking
no, no,
about
no,
New
no,
Year's
no, no.
resolution.
I just my call for you now is to ask you. I have 4 questions because it's the New Year's resolution things. People wish they had made certain adjustments earlier on, and some people wish they hadn't done certain things. So I have 4 questions to ask. Is the same question I've asked the 2 other callers, right? So the 4 question. Question one, right? We're in 2026. So question one: what's your New Year's resolution?
Hello. You're breaking up.
I'm still breaking up.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
I'm hearing you, but you're breaking up.
I don't understand why. Let me see if I'm hearing you over the stream. I'm hearing you. Go ahead. Go ahead. So, what's your New Year's resolution?
I really didn't make any.
Talk a little louder if you don't mind.
I did not make any resolutions for the new year.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do you have any regrets? Next question. Do you have any regrets from 2025?
No. I mean, I wish it was a better year, but I do not have any regrets. No.
Okay. And you say you wish it was a better year. What about 2025 you wish could have been better?
This could have been better as far as personal stuff.
Okay. All right. And next question. If you could have changed anything, what would it have been?
There's nothing for me to change. Like I said, it's not really any, I didn't really have any regrets per se, but whatever happened just happened. I don't think
Okay.
it was anything different that I could have done to make it different.
That's true. That's true. All right. Last question. It's more of a affirmation. If you have any advice for 2026, what would it be?
If I had any advice for 2026,
Yes, what would it be?
well, people, I guess, oh, no, I guess people just to be more prayerful, draw closer to God, um, be careful, all of that things, just regular stuff you should already know as far as, people are wild out, like when you see things on the news, just
Mm-hmm.
for people to be more careful and take care of themselves and their family.
Okay. Okay. All right. I guess that was it. Uh, did you catch any of the stream while it was going?
No, I was just about to go on it and then you called.
Okay. Uh, there might be parts of it that went out. I'm not sure. That's one of the callers. I was talking to Ray, and he says his audio chipped out, but I was hearing it fine on my end. You know, it is streaming. We have issues with it, and sometimes it goes in sync. Sometimes it goes out of sync. It happens. It has to be fixed, but it is what it is. For everybody that's watching, hey, please like the stream, share, subscribe. Right, for those of you who are watching, 9 viewers right now on the stream. It's not a lot, but it's what we have to deal with. Right. So if you have any New Year's resolution, you can call in at 1-844-788-6366. That's 1-844-788-6366. Right. And we can have a conversation. You can tell us what's your New Year's resolution, what regrets you have for 2025, what changes you would have made if you were able to make changes for 2025, and what advice do you have for going in 2026? Today is the first day of the year, and lots has happened here in America and abroad. Right? So call in and let's have a conversation. And
Okay. All right, can I go?
thank you. I appreciate you. We'll talk.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So all right, folks, we've had a good conversation. A few people, we talked to a few people. It's almost time for me to wrap up. It's cold outside, right? I'm going to tell you the temperature of how cold it is outside. Give me a second right now. It's 56 degrees. And some of you are probably laughing like, hey, 56 degrees, it's not really cold. We take off our shirts and we jump in the snow at 56 degrees. It's warm, for those of you that are snow dwellers, right? But for us sun dwellers, heat dwellers, 56 degrees can be a bit cold. Like for me, I can walk outside and don't feel cold, like right around 65, 68. I don't really feel the cold doesn't really sink into my skin. Right. The other day I had my shirt off and somebody stopped by to visit, and I came outside and she was like, "You're not cold?" I'm like, "No." She said, I'm from Australia and I'm cold right now." I'm like, "I'm not cold. I just had my shorts on and no shirt." But it was I think it was like 65 degrees at the time. Yeah, it wasn't really cold, but 56 degrees? I think that's cold. I don't know what you guys think, right? But us sun dwellers, we like it. We like it to be warm. We like it to be warm. So, guys, it's been I think I've been on the stream for now almost 2 hours, right? And of course we have had our ups and downs, audio issues. But hey, right now I'm a one-man band, right? So give props, one-man person doing it right now. I have my people that make sure that the audio is sounding good, because at one point our audio used to always go in and out, and had issues, and we did not know, and there's so much content that was missed because the audio was constantly giving issues, right? Constantly giving issues. It was so frustrating. We waste a lot of time, right? So like I said, if you want to call in, the number is 844-788-6366. All right? So I will try see if I can get one more person. Right? Let me see if I can get one more person. Let me see if he's available. Let me see if he's available. Hopefully he answers. No, he didn't answer.
The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished...
Let me try him one more time because I would like to get his feedback. Maybe he won't answer. All right, he's not answering. So he had a long event last night. So yay! Thank you for those of you that have tuned in and watched the stream. I appreciate you. All right. Yeah, let me just check to my phone and see if there's anybody else I want to. You know what? Let me see what this guy has to say. Cap, how you doing, man? Same to you. Hey, I'm doing a live stream. I've been doing a live stream about a couple of topics, but it's the top of the new year, and I just calling people or asking people to call in so I can ask them 4 questions. The 4 questions are: what's the New Year's resolution for 2026? Do you have any regrets for 2025? If you could have changed anything, what it would have been? And what advice do you have for going in 2026? Can I get you in on the call? Mm. Okay. Okay. All right. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Same to you, man. Say Happy New Year to everybody. Let me put you on speaker. Go ahead.
That was Happy New Year, y'all. Who am I speaking to?
No, I just saying Happy New Year, and that was it.
Okay.
All right, man. I appreciate you for picking up.
Respect.
Our respects. All right, guys. Seemed like I can't get in touch with a couple other people that I wanted to get on the stream, so I'm gonna shut it down here. Thank you, and one love and respects, and remember to always question everything. Because if you don't, you may fall for anything. Think and say. Have a good day.